Okay, so this is the continuation of the part 2, or this is the continuation of the part 1. Okay, so part 2 na po tayo. Continue lang po natin yung discussion natin for the coverage of midterm exam. Okay, so now let's discuss the factors to consider in the selection of standards or exemplars. Una po, na factor na kailangan po nating i-consider is, okay, is una, good writing standards should be sufficient to define accurately identifying habits as well as the kind and extent of variation typical of the writer's handwriting under any specific writing condition. So, una po na factor na dapat nating i-consider is the good writing standard. Okay? Kung paano po yung handwriting condition ng ating writers or the author. Okay? Siyempre, alangan naman po na kukuha po tayo ng handwriting ng writer or author na pangit. So, paano pa po natin makikita yung ano na yun? Pagkakaiba, paano natin makikita yung pagkakaiba or yung pagkakatugma po or the similarities and the dissimilarities of the handwriting. Pangalawa, if question handwriting was executed under abnormal condition, it is necessary to look for standard prepared under comparable circumstances. For example po, na-execute po yung question handwriting under abnormal condition. Parang nagkaroon ng hesitation, nagkaroon ng kung ano-anong problema. Ang pipiliin po natin is, okay, yung standard na nagawa na po, matagal na. Okay, yun po yung kukunin natin na magiging specimen po natin. Pangatlo, the style of writing contained in the standard or exemplars should be similar to the top style of the question writing. If the question writing are hand-printed, then get hand-printed standards or exemplar. Yes. Kung yung handwriting po natin is printed, kailangan ang kunin pong specimen or ang kuning standard or exemplar is hand-printed po. Pero, kung ang for example, ang meron po tayong question document is printed, dapat printed din po. Pero kapag handwriting po, dapat handwriting din po ang kukunin nating standard or exemplars. Okay? Next, same instrument used in the preparation of the question document must be obtained in the standard. Yes, dapat po, kagaya ng sabi ko kanina, pareho po ang kukunin na instrument. Parehong papel, parehong ballpen, parehong lapis. Okay? Dapat po pareho po sa ginamit doon sa question document. If the signature was written by all pen in ruled paper and above a typewritten name, standard prepared under similar condition should be selected. Kagaya ng sabi ko, dapat po pareho po. Okay? So, yan po yung mga factors po natin in the selection of. Then, we have some problems are complicated and harder to solve. This includes the following. So, ano po ba yung mga yon? Unang-una po dyan, we have signature of the careless, highly erratic writer. Okay? Kapag sinabi po natin ito, ang ibig pong sabihin yan, there is a group of writers who execute their signatures with lack of consistency. With 74 or 100 known signatures, the examiner may still be confused to account for some rare peculiarity which occurs in the question signature. With a writer of this type, even a series of signatures written within a week or so of the question signature may show a great variation. So, ang problema po ng ating question document examiner, if yung person na ito or yung signature is gawa po ng careless or highly erratic writer. So, doon po sa 74 to 100 known signature, mahihirapan pong makakita ng rare peculiarity si question document examiner. Okay? Pangalawa, receipt signature. Yes. Why? Kasi po sa mga receipt signature, minsan hindi naman po yung totoong signature ang nilalagay. So, it has same lack of consistency but only when the writer is signing for a delivery, such as a letter or a telegram. Under condition, his signature is consistently uniform and superior in form. Diba? Kapag tumatanggap po tayo ng mga delivery po natin, minsan hindi naman po talaga yung signature yung nilalagay po natin or hindi po yung totoong signature yung nilalagay po natin. It is a fictitious signature. So, mahihirapan po. Or yan po yung mga, or yan pa yung isang problema ng question document examiner po natin. Next, we have the near illiterate writer. Writing is a slow and laborious task. The signature is drawn, plodding, and its design is primitive. Problems involving these signatures tend to be troublesome. Yes. Yung mga near illiterate writer, yung mga wala pong pinag-aralan. Okay? Minsan po kasi hindi po nila alam kung paano po yung signature nila. Or, minsan po yung signature nila is yun na din po yung buong pangalan po nila. So, yan po yung magiging problema po or isa pa pong problema ng question document examiner po natin. So, yun po yung tatlo. Okay, wag po nating kakalimutan yung mga yun. Then, we have signatures of physical impaired writer. Ito naman po yung may mga kapansanan na writers po. Una, the intoxicated signature, yung signature po ng isang lasing na tao. Okay? Pangalawa, old age deterioration, yung signature naman po ng ating lolo at lola. So, habang tumatanda, nag-iiba po kasi yung signature, nagkakaroon ng hesitation, and also, yung tremor, yung panginginig. Okay, so, hindi na po natin makikita yung normal handwriting po ng ating lolo at lola. Next, the sick bed signature. Yes, magkaiba po ang itsura kapag nag-signature ka ng nakaupo, nakatayo, at nakahiga. Okay, lalong-lalo na po kapag may sakit ito. So, yan po yung mga yon. Then, we have the disguise signature or writing. Kapag sinabi naman po nating disguise signature or writing, the question writing or the may be disguised, that the problem becomes more perplexing to the document examiner if the question signature is disguised. A specimen written under normal condition cannot be used for comparison. The examination is therefore hampered by lack of truly adequate proper standard. Yes, minsan, kagaya ng sabi ko, minsan po, hindi po yung totoong signature po natin ang nilalagay po natin. Not the natural signature. Nilalagay po natin yung disguised signature po natin. Kaya, mahirap pong hagilapin, mahirap pong i-examine ni document examiner po iyon. Next, we have classes of standard writings which are admissible for comparison purposes. Okay, so meron po tayong different classes. So, una, we have the standard writing witness. Okay, so the courts accept as sufficient proof that evidence in the form of uncontradicted testimony of a competent eyewitness to the execution of writing is sufficient to permit the use of such writings as a standard to test other writings. It was not necessary for the witness actually to watch the pen of the writer as it passed over the paper where it appeared, but he write and the witnesses which the writing was done in the witnesses' presence. And that writer then give them the paper. Also, it is included in this class of admissible standards are writings voluntarily prepared by a party in the presence of an investigator. These generally are known as requested writing. So, ito po, yung standard writing by the witness, ito po yung mga pwede pong maging classes ng standard writings po natin. Una, okay, yung testimony po ng ating competent eyewitness. Pangalawa, yung witness actually watch the pen of the writer as it passed over the paper where it appeared. Okay? He write and the witness which the writing was done in the witness present. So, pwede rin po yun. And lastly, yung tinatawag po nating requested writings. Then, standard writing admitted. Okay? So, if the party whom a handwriting standard is to be admits the genuineness of the standard, he could hold that further proof of genuineness is unnecessary. And next, record maintained in regular course of business as a standard writing. So, ito po yung classes of standard. You can just read na lang po. For comparison purposes lang naman to, para lang po makita po yung similarities and dissimilarities po ng ating genuine and question document writing or handwriting. Next po tayo, susunod po, we have the government document as standard writing. Same, signatures of government officials on document treated as authentic and produced from official archive. So, pwede rin po yung mga signatures po ng ating government official. Ancient writings, okay, yes, the courts have admitted writings on ancient document as standard for comparison. Pwede din po yung mga ancient writings po natin, yung mga sinaunang sulat po noon, pwede din po yung gamitin as comparison purposes. Then, other writing standards like among writings admissible as a standard are signature on spelling, motion, or other instrument such as an appearance bond which may without further proof of genuineness be used as a standard. So, yan po yung mga pwede po nating maging classes of standards or for comparison purposes po. Also, familiarity sometimes establish standard writing testimony and opinion evidence. So, kagaya ng sabi ko, pwede nyo naman or basahin na lang po yan. And lastly, genuineness of the standard decided by the court. So, pwede rin po yan. Yan po yung, or that is under the classes of standard writings which are admissible for comparison purposes. So, yan lang naman po yung mga pwedeng tanggapin ng korte. Okay? Para maging standard or exemplars for the comparison for the question document handwriting or question document writing. Next, we have the principal points. Okay? So, una po dyan, the amount of standard written. Okay? Una po, we have signature. Dapat po, ilan ba ang kailangan na signature sa korte? Kapag signature po, dapat po 5 to 25 signatures po. Or 5 to 25 signature specimen po ang kailangan. Okay? Kapag writing naman, usually 4 or 5 pages of natural writing naman ang kailangan po ng korte. So, yan po yung mga standard written amount na tinatanggap po sa korte. Next, similar of subject matter. So, una po, compare conventional copybook from with the conventional copybook from standard and compare highly individualized question signature with highly individualized standard signature. So, para lang po makita yung similarity, kailangan po nilang pagkumpirahin. Okay? Comparison po. Extended writing. Determine whether the question writing is purely cursive, script, or block, or combination of the 3 or 2 style of writing. So, diba, sabi ko, kanina po, kaya dun sa part 1, sabi ko na, pwede pong mag-combine yung cursive and script, script or block, block or cursive. Pwede po yan. So, extended writing, titignan po natin kung ano po yung kinds of writing na meron sila doon sa standard and at the same time sa question document. Then, relative dates of the question and the standard writing. Standard signature or writing must be those written 5 years before or 5 years after the date of the question signature or writing. So, dapat po, para po maging relevant sa korte, dapat po 5 years before or 5 years after the question signature or writing. Okay? Yan lang po yung mga taon na pwede pong maging admissible or relative sa korte yung mga question document or standard writing. Then, condition under which both the question and the standard are prepared. So, una, dapat paper rested on the knee. Standing, titignan po kung paano po ginawa yung question document na yon. Yung paper ba, nakarest po ba or nakapatong po ba sa knee? Nung ginawa po ba yon or nung ginawa yung question document, nakatayo po ba? Nakaupo? Lying down? Okay, moving on a vehicle? Kasi nga po, kagaya ng sabi ko, kapag nakatayo, nakaupo, nakahiga, iba po yung itsura ng handwriting natin. Lalong-lalo na po kapag nasa moving vehicle po tayo. 'Di ba? Na-try naman na po natin 'yan kapag nagsusulat, kapag nasa sasakyan ka. Okay? Ibang-iba po sa natural na handwriting mo. The document examiner must take a brief investigation into the condition under which a document was written. So, writing instrument and paper, syempre, una, paper, kailangan mong tignan, okay, whether the question writing was written in a ruled pad paper or plain paper. So, tignan mo po kung ano pong ginamit doon sa question document. Kung ruled paper ba or plain paper or bond paper. Sa writing instrument naman, you need to determine kung ano pong klase ng ballpen. Ballpoint pen po ba, fountain pen, or so on and so forth. So, kailangan mo pong malaman kung ano po yung mga klase ng papel at writing instrument. Why? Okay? Kasi nga, kagaya ng sabi ko kanina sa part 1, dapat po exacto or exactly the same ang ibibigay mo doon sa writer na gagamitin niya para po makagawa po siya ng standard or exemplar specimen. Next, let's go now for requested and dictated standards. So, ito naman po, ito po yung mga kailangan naman pong i-dictate sa suspect. Okay? Una, careful select the dictated that do not dictate the entire content of the anonymous letter. So, no need po na i-dictate lahat or i-dictate yung buong laman ng question document. Pumili ka lang po. Pangalawa, adequate amount of writing must be included. So, ibig sabihin, katamtamang dami lang po ng writing. Okay? Ang pwede or ang need na isulat ng suspect. Pangatlo, some portion of the dictation should be repeated at least 3 times. So, every time po na i-dictate mo yung word, dapat po 3 beses mo po siyang uulitin. Number 4, writing instrument and paper should be similar to those used in preparing the question document. Yun po yung sinabi ko po kanina. The dictation should be interrupted at interval. So, ibig pong sabihin, every now and then dapat po meron pong interval. Okay? Okay na po siguro yung 30 seconds to 1 minute na interval bago po i-dictate yung susunod na word. Then, normal writing condition should be arranged. So, yan po yung mga request and dictated standard. So, yan po yung mga kailangang i-dictate, okay, sa ating tinatawag na suspect. Okay, next will be more common disguise are the following. So ito po yung mga kakakitaan ng disguise writing. Una, abnormal large writing or abnormally large writing. Pangalawa, abnormally small writing. Alteration in slant, usually backhand. O, yan po yung mga common disguise na ginagawa po. Then, usually variation in slant within a single unit of writing. Printed forms instead of cursive forms. Yes, mas marami po kasing gumagamit ng cursive for natural, hindi kagaya ng printed forms. Then, diminution in the usual speed of writing. So, for example, ang speed mo is mabilis, minsan pinapabagal mo. And lastly, unusual widening or restriction of lateral spacing. So, yan po yung mga common disguise na makikita po natin sa handwriting or writing po ng isang tao. Next, we have the kinds of disguises. Una po dyan, yung tinatawag nating change of slant. Okay? Right ka, pero nag-left slant ka or vice versa. Pangalawa, change of letter, either from cursive, yung natural writing mo is cursive, ginawa mong block or vice versa po. Next, change from cursive conventional style to block or vice versa pa din. Change of style. Nag-iba ka ng style. Kung noon small letter ka, ngayon ang sulat mo or ang writing mo is big letters na po. Then, deteriorating one's handwriting. Ibig sabihin, pinapapangit mo yung handwriting mo po. Lastly, using the wrong hand or tinatawag po siyang ambidextrous. Ibig pong sabihin ng ambidextrous, okay, for example, you are a right-handed person, ang ginamit mo is yung left hand mo. Okay, tinatawag po siyang ambidextrous or the using of wrong hand. Now, let's go now to the evidence of alcoholic intoxication in writing. Ano po ba yung mga nakikita kapag under the influence of alcohol ka po habang nagsusulat? Una po dyan, bizarre letter forms. Pwedeng malalaki or maliliit na mga letra ang nasusulat ng mga intoxicated people. Then, greatly enlarged writing, illegible forms in writing generally. Yan po yung mga nakikita. Uneven baseline, syempre, dahil nga lasing, diba? Hindi na po nasusunod yung alignment, hindi na po nasusunod yung baseline. Mapanjay Baguio, Mapanjay Manila, Mapanti Laguna jay handwriting nan. Okay? Then, meaningless globe or extraneous stroke in the writing. Then, inconsistency in slant of writing. And lastly, inconsistency in the form of repeated letters. Ibig pong sabihin, magkaiba na po yung itsura ng letter A niya sa susunod na letter A. Okay? Ganon din po sa letter D sa susunod na letter D. Magkaiba na po yung style. Kaya nga po may inconsistency doon sa repeated letters po. Okay? So, yan po yung mga evidence kapag, or yan yung mga makikita mong ebidensya sa writing ng isang intoxicated na tao. Then, we have the general characteristics. Ano nga po ba yung tinatawag po nating general characteristics? Kapag po sinabi nating general characteristics, these are characteristics refer to those habits are part of the basic writing system or which are modification of the system of writing found among so large group of writers, okay, that have only slight identification value. Kapag sinabi pong general, lahat po ng tao pare-pareho yung sulat or magkakapareho yung ibang sulat po nila. General. Why? Because of the basic writing system or yung tinatawag po nating modification or model na pinagaya po sa atin noong nag-aaral po tayo. Kaya tayo nagkakaroon ng general characteristics or class characteristics. Meron po yan sa group or sa large group ng tao. Okay? Kapag sinabi naman po nating individual characteristics, ibig pong sabihin, ikaw lang, peculiar lang sa'yo yung characteristics na yan. Okay? They are characteristics which are the result of the writer's muscular control, coordination, age, health, and nervous temperament, frequency of writing, and personality and character. Tinatawag naman po siyang individual characteristics. Ibig sabihin, ikaw lang ang ganyan ang sulat. Ikaw lang yung may habits na ganyan. Okay? So, yan po yung pinagkaiba ng general characteristics to individual characteristics. Then, we have the so-called peculiarities. Okay? Yung mga peculiar, ibig pong sabihin ng peculiar, ikaw lang po ang meron niyan. Una, writing movement. Okay? Kapag po sinabi nating writing movement, it is all about the muscular control or motor control. Or yung tinatawag po nating loose writing. Okay? This is characterized by too much freedom of movement and lack of regulation. This is noticed especially in tall letter form. So, yan po yung tinatawag po nating writing movement. Yung muscular control, motor control, and loose writing. Yung freedom mo, yung movement mo. Kung gaano siya kalawak, okay? Kung gaano siya nag-i-extend. Pero nanonotice yan especially kapag nagsusulat ka po ng mga tall letter forms. Then, we have restrained writing. Kapag naman po sinabi po nating restrained writing, there is a lack of freedom and inhibited movements. It gives you the impression that every stroke was made with great difficulty. This writing is small. There is distortion of letter forms which may lead to illegibility. However, small writing is not always evidence of restrained movement. Yes. 'Di ba? Paano naman kung sanay lang po yung tao na magsulat ng small letters? Okay, so hindi naman po ibig sabihin na kapag small letters yung sulat mo is evidence na for restrained writing. No po. Also, fatigue during long periods of writing, pwede po yun. True full arm movement can be employed only under rather ideal conditions such as while setting at a clean table or this. So, restrained writing po. Minsan, pinipigilan mo. Okay? Nagpipigil ka. So, that is a restrained writing. Next, motor coordination, the efficient way that the various muscle writing work together to produce a written form. So, next, we have faculty coordination. Coordination is characterized by the following. Okay, so we have the wavering, we have the angular line. So, marami pa po yan. I think we have 12, if I am not mistaken po. So, in wavering and very irregular line or stroke with uncertain and unsteady progress, there is no freedom or movement along the stroke of the letter forms. The writing is obviously very slow and it is typical for the writing of a young child or for anyone who painstakingly draws a picture of an unfamiliar form. So, wavering, ibig pong sabihin may hesitation. Nakikita po yan sa mga bata, maliliit na bata, or para ka pong nagdo-drawing ng hindi mo pa nakikita or unfamiliar sa'yo. Okay? So, yun po yung tinatawag po nating wavering. Angular line naman, a very common fault of coordination, curves, large, and small are not smoothly rounded and there is no gradual change of direction. On the contrary, an angle marks almost every change or direction in the line. Investigation has disclosed that angles are accompanied by a lessening of writing speed. Angular line, yung parang pinakita ko po sa inyo kanina, yung angular form or angular thread-like. So, yan po yun. Okay? Hindi po siya masyadong smoothly rounded curve. Okay? Babago po yung direction at nagle-lessen po yung speed of writing po. Then, next, shading. Yung sinabi ko kanina, kapag shading, yung tinatawag po nating bunchy appearance. Okay? Yung pagiging bulky, malaki, makapal, yan po yung tinatawag po nating bunchy. Then, we have skill. Alam naman na po natin yan, na-tackle natin yan sa ating previous discussion on the prelim period. Legibility and symmetry are the basis upon which one skill or pictorial aspect is judged. Skill is classified as poor, medium, and good. Kung gaano kagaling magsulat. Skill. Pinpresyo ay, susunod, alignment. Okay, syempre yung alignment dapat naka-align po siya sa baseline po natin. Pen pressure, okay, kung gaano po, ano na po yun, kung gaano po kadiin habang nagsusulat ka po. One of the most reliable indication of naturalness in handwriting is the rhythmical and fluent application of pressure and release of pressure. This indicate that the pressure is always in a state of change, moving from light to heavy, heavy to light. So, yung pabago-bago po ng pressure, nakakakitaan po ng natural handwriting. Then, connection, pen hold, kung paano mo hawakan, rhythm, okay, yung tempo, and disconnection or pen lift between letters. So, yan po yung mga yon. And also, we have speed, diba? And slant as a writing habit. Proportion, alam na rin po natin yan. Quality of stroke or line quality. Variation, alam na din po natin yung mga yon. Then, causes of variation. Ano ba yung mga causes ng variation natin? Okay, una, function of some external condition, example influence of the available space. Okay? Because of that available space, mas magiging malawak pa po, nag-e-expand, nag-e-extend. Abnormal conditions such as physical injury, toxic effects, inebriation, emotions, and deception. So, yan yung mga causes of variation. Position of letter, all the letters are to be found initially, medially, and finally. Yes. Minsan makikita mo yung sulat ng isang tao nasa unahan, nasa gitna, or nasa pinakahuli. The fact of a different position, especially in combination with another and particular letter, may modify any of them in some way or another. So, yan po yung mga causes ng variations po natin. Then, we have individual characteristics or habits. So, eto naman po yun, yung mga individual characteristics or habits natin. Kapag sinabi nating individual, nasa iisang tao lang po yan. Permanent characteristics, these are characteristics that can be found always in handwriting. Kasi nga po, permanent na. Hindi na po siya mababago. Hindi na po siya mapapalitan. Common or usual, pwedeng makita sa group of people and sa iyo. These characteristics can be found in a group of writers who studied the same system of writing. Kapag pareho kayo ng system of writing, meron kayong pagkakatulad. Okay? Occasional, this characteristics is only found occasionally in his handwriting. So, like sa occasional naman po, occasionally mo lang nakikita yung handwriting na yon sa kanya. Okay? Siguro kapag masaya siya, lumilitaw yung handwriting niya na yon. Or kapag malungkot siya, lumilitaw po yung handwriting niya po na iyon. Then rare, this characteristics is special to the writer and perhaps for only in one or two person in a group of 100 individuals. So rare, ibig sabihin, sa isang daang tao, meron pong isa na may rare handwriting. Okay? So, yun naman po yung mga individual characteristics or next. Okay? Let's go now to the fundamental laws which govern the conclusion in handwriting identification system. So, ito naman po, sabi lang naman dito, a signature naturally and genuinely written under normal condition contain all the individual habits of the writer's signature which are put into a way that consistent with his writing ability and the writing quality of his signature. So, yung signature daw po na natural na nagawa and genuinely or genuinely, okay, under normal condition, makikita po yung individual habits ng writer. Okay? Through his signature. Pangalawa, a signature is fraudulent. Ibig sabihin po ng fraudulent, questioned, hindi po siya genuine. If it contains habits, qualities, or elements which are significantly different from the genuine signature written under similar condition. Kung pareho naman po ng ginamit na papel, ginamit na ballpen, pero magkaiba yung itsura, okay? Tinatawag po siyang fraudulent signature or fake signature. Next, we have deprivative value of writing characteristics. So, in privative value of writing characteristics, it is impossible to illustrate and define all the thousand of actual and possible individual qualities and characteristics of writing and weight and measure their comparative value for the reason that these values differ greatly with different writers under varying conditions. It is very important to have an understanding on the principles by which the force and significance of the characteristics are to be measured. So, sa madaling salita po, okay, hindi naman po natin makikita lahat kung ang tinitingnan po natin is thousands of actual possible individual qualities and characteristics. Hindi po natin matitimbang, hindi po natin mami-measure. Okay? Dahil lang po doon sa tinatawag po nating individual characteristics. Okay? Hindi po natin siya mawi-weigh or mami-measure po. Then, some general principles can be stated that apply in most cases. So, eto po yun. Okay, so kindly read na lang po yung mga general principles. Don't worry, hindi ko naman na po yan isasama sa ating examination. So, you can read na lang po. Then, although there is no specific approach, the following are always observed. Ito naman po yung palaging kailangang obserbahan. Una, recognition of handwriting characteristics. One must acquire the ability to distinguish what are the style and individual characteristics. Distinguish characteristics which are normal and disguised. So,
you need, as a question document examiner, kailangan mong i-distinguish kung normal po ba or disguise yung signature. Pangalawa, comparison of handwriting characteristics. Make allowance to the presence of natural variation in handwriting. And pangatlo, evaluation of handwriting characteristics for opinion purposes po. You need to evaluate the significance and number of similarities and dissimilarities in handwriting. So, kapag evaluation po, doon mo po kailangang tignan yung similarities and dissimilarities sa handwriting. How individual characteristics are acquired? Naa-acquired ba yung tinatawag po nating individual characteristics? Yes, una. Okay, outgrowth of definite teaching, kung paano po itinuro sa inyo. Result of imitation, kagaya ng sabi ko kanina, kapag nakakakita ka ng beautiful writing or calligraphy ng kasama mo, katrabaho mo, kaklase mo, minsan ginagaya mo, ini-imitate mo. Because of that, minsan doon ka nakakapag-acquire ng individual characteristics. Then, by accidental condition or circumstances, so by an accident, pwede mong ma-acquire yung individual characteristics mo. Then, expression of certain mental and physical traits of the writer as affected by education, environment, and occupation. So, na-acquire din daw po yan because of the education. Okay? Yung mga nakakasalimuhan natin doon, yung itinuturo po sa atin. Environment, same. Your peers, kaibigan. Okay? Yung environment setting po ninyo. And your occupation or sa trabaho naman po. Next, movement or manner of execution. So, we have kinds of movement. Alam naman na po natin kung ano po yung kinds of movement, di ba? Dalawa po yan. We have the forearm and the whole arm. Kapag forearm, ito po. Kapag full arm, mula shoulder hanggang fingers po. Okay? Quality of movement naman, clumsy, illiterate, and halting, hesitating, and painful due to weakness and illness, strong, heavy, and forceful, nervous and irregular, smooth, flowing, and rapid. Yan naman po yung quality ng movement natin. Okay? Then, speed, syempre, slow or drawn, deliberate or middle, and rapid po or mabilis. Okay? Slow, drawn, deliberate, average, or rapid. Average, ibig sabihin, steady lang. Then, next, different movement employed affect writing in smoothness, directness, uniformity, continuative stroke, and lastly, connecting of curves between letters. So, yan naman po yung under different movement employed affect in writing. Yung smoothness, yung directness, yung uniformity. Kapag sinabi po nating uniformity naman, yung pagkakapareho. Uniform po. Then, yung continuity ng stroke at yung connecting ng different curves doon sa letters po. Lastly, we have the pointers to consider in examining extended writing. So, ito po yung mga yon. We have 8. Okay? Anonymous, threat, poison letters. So, yan po yung mga kailangan bigyan ng pansin. I-extend. Okay? Yung pag-examine. Uniformity, does the question writing have smooth, rhythmic, and free-flowing appearance? Irregularities, does the question writing appear awkward, ill-form, slowly drawn? Yung slowly drawn, ill-form, speed po yan. Size and proportion, di ba? Meron po tayong proportion or ratio. Same din po ito. Determine the height, go to the overall writing as well as the height, go to the individual stroke in proportion to each other. Then, alignment. Are they horizontally aligned or curving, uphill or downhill? Spacing. Okay? Determine the general spacing between letters, spacing between words, width, okay? Left, right margins, paragraph indentation. Degree of slant. Are they uniform or not? Yung slant po. Okay? Pare-pareho ba yung itsura? Formation and design of letters, like yung bar, yung dots, yung loops, yung circle formation. Okay, tinitignan din po yung mga yan. And initial, connecting, and final stroke. So, in this one, yan lang po yung mga pointers nila para po, or yan po yung mga tinitignan nila in examining an extended writing. So, yan po yung mga yun. So, that is the end of our part 2. Thank you and God bless.